There are a lot of people that tell you to shoot in F11 when doing landscape. Well, I'm about to tell you something totally different. Brings up. Very good morning to you, and I'm not going to say I'm not rushing, because you know me, I'm always rushing. But yeah, I want to discuss about the this so-called shoot in F11 when doing landscape, because it's actually a myth, and it's all about a few different things. Oh my goodness, it's lovely this morning. And a few things to just think about and look at when trying to find that sweet spot, which we'll discuss that in a minute. But I think it's a bloody lovely morning. Yeah, let's just get there. 6:10 in the morning, there's a bloke on a blinking jet ski.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. And damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good.
So, what is the best setting to use when doing landscape? I'm talking about aperture here anyway. The thing is you have to take a lot into consideration when deciding your aperture. Let's look at a few things that are going to make this F11 myth just dead in the water with the very, very first one. We're going to talk about focal length and your sensor size. So F11 on a crop sensor is going to be totally different than F11 on a full frame or a micro 4/3. So the F11 is, but let's take another one as well. Let's just go with your lens, shall we? A lot of landscape photographers, they tend to have a variable, we'll call it zoom on it, which changes your focal. Now, on this particular one here, if I am, say, very, very wide, my lowest aperture would be 3.5, but if I go all the other way, it's 5.2, I think it is, something like that. So the F11 is totally out of the window. So what you've got to do is you've actually got to find your sweet spot. So your sweet spot is actually going to be 3 stops above wide open. But when I say sweet spot, this is going to be the start of your sweet spot. This is where your lens is going to be at its best. So the lowest aperture that I can go on this one, let me just zip that down, is, because I'm pretty wide, it's 3.5. So the sweet spot will be 7.1. So I will shoot 7.1. What's in front of me and what is behind is going to be pretty much in focus. This is why I've actually come here and done this particular one. So we've got bush in front and got old Harry behind. So 7.1. Let's see how that turns out then, shall we? And one other thing to consider as well is why this F11 business is just, it's a bit of a myth really, is because it depends on your actual scene that you're shooting as well. For example, you've got a foreground and a background. What's the distance between those? This is the sort of thing that you need to think about. So finding your sweet spot on your camera, on your lens, sorry, is the critical point where you've got to find that sweet spot. This is going to be a bit of a trial and error. Go out, try it, find the sweet spot on that lens. When you've found that sweet spot, and I'm pretty much going to say that it's going to be around about 7.18 is going to be around about the sweet spot. You want to be around about there, or a stop or so above ish, roughly thereabouts. But as you can see, I've just taken that one. It wasn't F11, and if you look back at quite a few of the videos that I've actually done, and a lot of the images I've taken, none of them are F11. There may have been the odd one that has been, but that's because it's been required. So let's just look into the part of this is making you think, well, why Do I need to keep that aperture pretty low? Well, let's look at what it is that you're trying to do. You're trying to take a photograph. Now, photograph requires light. The more light, the better the quality image you're gonna get. It's all about light. Yes, I know we can manipulate light. Yes, I know we can overexpose and all sort of business. Yes, get it. But you need light. The wider the aperture, the lower the F number, the more light is coming into that lens and hitting that sensor. That's what you need. Because this is going to be the point where you might need to then not. Let's get to the exposure triangle. So if you are, say, F9, you put at F11, you're 2 stops above, which means that you're then going to have to increase that ISO or the shutter speed. So that ISO is going to affect the actual image itself, because you all know, increase that ISO, you're going to increase that little bit of noise. Shutter speed. Let's just look at it. You might want to set a specific shutter speed because you're going to need to capture a movement, or you don't want to capture a movement or something. This is what it all boils down to, is keeping the aperture as low as you possibly can. Now I'm talking about landscape here, not talking about anything else, because if you're doing things like portraits or something like this, it's totally different. This is why this is the F11 myth for landscape when composing this one. I've actually gone down the middle because I only want a little bit of the bank. I sort of half and half of the land and the sky. So I've gone literally straight down the middle. If I went either way on the upper or the lower third, I've just missed bits, and yeah, I really want that. Strange sometimes how you break rules. I've even got the sun pretty much in the middle. I just like it. I don't know. It's strange how things pan out, isn't it? There I am sort of saying about, you know, you're all thirds and leading lines and all sort of business. It's just good done, none of it. There we have it. You don't have to shoot F11, and it's not a good starting point. A good starting point is finding the sweet spot on that lens. So open that lens up, 3 stops above, that's the start of your sweet point, and then you go from there. And just one of the things to remember with any photography that you do is light. The more light, the better quality image. That's all right, guys. Give us a thumbs up. Really helps me out. And pretty much 90% of the people who watch my videos are actually not subscribed. Come on guys, it's free. Hit that button. And I'm walking uphill. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for joining us. Take care. Stay safe. I'll see you soon.